My name is Emily Harper, and the Christmas my parents decided to cancel everything, my mom didn't yell or cry or try to guilt me. She just left a voicemail that hit like a slap in the face. Christmas is off this year. We can't afford it. Don't bother coming home. That was it. No explanation, no "we love you," nothing. Just cold and final. I was standing in my little apartment in Charlotte, North Carolina, holding a mug of coffee that suddenly tasted like nothing. The steam rose up, fogging my glasses a bit, and I stared at the phone screen as if waiting for more words to appear. But there was nothing. Just the timestamp. December 15th, 2023. 10 days before Christmas. I could hear the faint hum of traffic outside on Tryon Street, the city waking up to another chilly morning. Charlotte winters aren't brutal like up north, but that day, the cold seeped through the thin walls of my one-bedroom rental, matching the chill in my chest. I didn't call back. I didn't text a paragraph explaining how hurt I was. I just typed one word. Okay. Then I set my phone down on the cluttered kitchen counter, next to a stack of unpaid bills and a half-eaten bagel from Panera, and opened my laptop. The screen lit up with the familiar login page for our joint savings account, the one I'd been quietly funding for their retirement dream. I typed in the password, Harper Family 1985, my parents' wedding year, balance $148,000. All of it from me.
Every overtime shift at my job as a project manager for a mid-sized tech firm in uptown Charlotte. Every skipped vacation. Last year, I'd passed on a girls' trip to Myrtle Beach because family comes first. Every bonus I never spent on myself, like the $5,000 one I got after closing a big client deal in 2022, instead, it went straight into that account. I'd been the safety net for years. It started small, back in 2018, right after I graduated from UNC Charlotte with a business degree. Mom, Brenda Harper, called me one evening while I was unpacking boxes in my first post-college apartment. "Emily, honey, your dad's back is acting up again. The doctor says he needs physical therapy, but our insurance won't cover it all. It's just $500 this month. We'll pay you back." Of course I sent it. Venmo'd it right away. Dad, Howard Harper, had worked construction his whole life, building houses in the Orlando suburbs during the Florida boom years. But by then, at 62, his body was breaking down. Sciatica, they called it. He couldn't swing a hammer anymore, so he took early retirement, collecting a meager Social Security check that barely covered the basics. That $500 turned into $1,000 the next month for unexpected dental work after Mom chipped a tooth on a piece of hard candy at a church potluck. Then came the big one, Hurricane Ian in September 2022. It didn't hit Orlando head-on, but the winds tore shingles off their roof and the rain flooded the garage. Insurance covered some, but the deductible was $10,000. "Emily, we're barely hanging on," Mom said, her voice cracking over the phone. "The house is everything to us. It's where you and Jake grew up." So I wired the money, dipped into my emergency fund, postponed buying a new car. I was still driving my 2012 Honda Civic with 150,000 miles on it. The house was a modest 3-bedroom ranch in a gated community near Disney World, bought in the 90s when prices were low. They loved bragging about it at family gatherings. Our little slice of paradise. But paradise came with rising HOA fees, property taxes that jumped 20% after the pandemic, and flood insurance premiums that skyrocketed post-Ian. My brother Jake, he was 32, living in Tampa, working as a sales rep for a beer distributor. Decent job, but he always seemed to be between paychecks. I helped him too, a $15,000 down payment on his Ford F-150 in 2021 because I need reliable wheels for client meetings, sis. He promised to pay me back in installments. I got one check for $500, then nothing. Excuses piled up. Economy's tough, gas prices are killing me, had to fix the AC in the truck. They always framed it like I was part of the team, like we were all in this together. Sunday dinners over Zoom, since I moved to Charlotte for work in 2019, were full of, "We're so proud of you, Emily. You're doing so well." But doing well meant I was the one who could afford to help.
Jake would joke, "Em's the rich one now, living that corporate life." Mom would nod.
God blessed you with that job for a reason. But I was the only one paying in. A few months before that voicemail, back in September 2023, Mom had started dropping hints about wanting a real break. We were on a video call, her in the kitchen with its outdated Formica counters, me in my apartment with takeout containers stacked nearby. We've been through so much, Em. Ian wrecked us financially. Your dad's blood pressure is through the roof. We just want one nice Christmas without stress. I thought she meant scaling back. No extravagant gifts, maybe skip the honey-baked ham and do potluck instead. I even offered to host in Charlotte. I can book you guys flights on Southwest, cheap this time of year. We'll do a small tree, watch It's a Wonderful Life like old times. She brushed it off, her eyes darting away from the camera. No, honey, you're so busy with work. We don't want to burden you. Besides, Jake might have plans with his girlfriend. Jake's girlfriend, Sarah, was a bartender he'd met at a Rays game. They'd been together 6 months, and from what I gathered, she was pushing for a ring. But Jake was dragging his feet, citing financial stability issues I'd been quietly subsidizing. The hints kept coming. In October, during a rare in-person visit when I drove down for Dad's birthday, Mom mentioned needing a reset. We were at Applebee's, my treat of course, sharing a spinach dip appetizer. Dad picked at his burger, quiet as always, while Jake dominated the conversation about his latest sales quota. Mom leaned in. Emily, have you thought about a family vacation? Somewhere relaxing, like the beach. I perked up. That sounds great. Maybe spring break? I could swing a week off. She waved it off. Oh, not now. Too soon. But keep saving, okay? That retirement account is looking good. The retirement account. It was originally Dad's 401k from his construction days, but after he cashed out early to pay off credit cards, we restarted it as a joint savings. I set up automatic transfers for my paycheck, $500 a month plus extras. They added nothing. We're on fixed income, Mom would say. By November, the conversation shifted. Phone calls grew shorter. Texts were vague. Busy week here. Weather's turning. Raining again. I sent my usual $1,000 for holiday prep, groceries, decorations, whatever. No questions asked. Then, the week before the voicemail, I noticed a small charge on the joint credit card. I'd added them as authorized users for emergencies only, back in 2020 during COVID, when Dad lost side gigs. The card was in my name, but they had cards too. $150 and a travel agency in Orlando. I texted Mom, everything okay? Saw a charge? Her reply, just looking into something. Don't worry. I didn't push. Work was hectic. End of year reports, a big merger at the company. I was pulling 60-hour weeks, surviving on coffee and ambition. My boss, Karen, kept saying, Emily, you're indispensable. But indispensable meant no time for myself. The voicemail came on a Tuesday evening. I'd just gotten home from the office, kicked off my heels, and collapsed on the couch. My apartment was a mess. Laundry piled up, a dying pothos plant on the windowsill overlooking the skyline. The Christmas tree I'd put up, a fake 4-footer from Walmart, twinkled sadly in the corner, ornaments from childhood dangling like reminders. After typing OK, I sat there for a minute, the weight sinking in. Canceled. Don't bother coming home. Like I was an afterthought. A burden. That's when I logged into the account. Stared at the balance. Then, on a whim, I checked the credit card statement. December 18th, a $4,200 transaction. Vendor, the Ritz-Carlton, Amelia Island. Description, holiday package deposit, oceanfront suite, Christmas week, 4 guests. 4 guests, not 5. Amelia Island, up the Florida coast, near Jacksonville. I'd heard Mom mention it once. Such a fancy place, with those horse-drawn carriages and pristine beaches. Luxury, spa treatments, gourmet dinners, the kind of vacation advertised in glossy magazines at the dentist's office. I Googled it quickly. The Ritz-Carlton there had a special Christmas package, decorated suites, Santa visits, beachside bonfires, starting at $1,000 a night. They were going on a luxury beach resort vacation for Christmas. The one they told me was canceled because they couldn't afford it. And they hadn't even invited me. The room spun a bit. I stood up, paced the small living room, past the framed family photo from Disney in 2005, all smiles under the castle. Me at 11, Jake at 14, parents beaming. Why? Why exclude me? Because I was the wallet, not the family member, the one who paid for everything but wasn't worth including in the fun. I drove to Target that night, wandering the aisles under the harsh fluorescent lights. Christmas music blared, Jingle Bell Rock, White Christmas. Families pushed carts full of toys, wrapping paper, holiday PJs. I bought nothing, just walked, letting the realization settle. They'd used my money, my transfers, my credit, for this. The $1,000 holiday prep was probably the deposit. The $150 travel agency charge, planning fees. Back home, I didn't cry. Crying would mean they still had power over me. Instead, I poured a glass of cheap Cabernet from Trader Joe's and opened my laptop again. That night, I went through every statement, every Venmo, every Zelle transfer going back 5 years. I made a folder on my desktop, Harper Family Contributions. Screenshots of transfers. $2,500 for Dad's knee surgery in 2019. $3,800 for Mom's new glasses and hearing aids in 2021. $7,000 after their car broke down during a road trip to the Keys, a trip they took without me.
PDFs of emails. Mom begging for help with property taxes in 2022, citing Florida's homestead exemption, but it's not enough. Jake's pleas for just $2,000 to get through the month after he blew his commission on a Vegas weekend. Timestamps of calls. Late-night voicemails from Dad. Rare but poignant. Emily, we appreciate you. Don't know what we'd do without you. The grand total at the bottom of my spreadsheet, $221,400. From me to them, with zero gratitude beyond lip service, zero repayment plan, zero acknowledgement that I was 29, single, with student loans still lingering at $15,000. No house because rent in Charlotte was $1,800 a month. No wedding fund because who had time to date when you were always working? I slept fitfully that night, dreams fragmented, childhood Christmases with stockings stuffed with Walmart toys, Mom's homemade sugar cookies, Dad playing Santa with a fake beard. Waking up to reality felt like a hangover. The next day at work, I could barely focus. During a team meeting, Karen asked if I was okay. Family stuff, I muttered. She nodded sympathetically. Everyone has family stuff around the holidays. After work, I called my best friend Lisa. We'd met at UNC, bonded over late-night study sessions. She lived in Raleigh now, married with a toddler. That's messed up, she said when I told her. You've been carrying them for years. It's time to cut the cord. But they're family, I protested weakly. Family doesn't treat you like an ATM. Her words echoed as I hung up. That evening, I dug deeper, pulled up old text threads. Mom, Emily, the power bill is $450 this month, AC running nonstop in this heat. Sent from July 2023, during a Florida heat wave that made national news. Jake, sis, Sarah wants to go to Universal for her birthday. Can you spot me $300 for tickets? I'll pay you back next paycheck. He didn't. Dad, rare texts, mostly, thanks kiddo. By midnight, the folder was bulging, over 200 files. Evidence, proof that I wasn't crazy. 2 days after the voicemail, December 17th, my phone started buzzing. Not from them at first, from the bank app. Alert for large transaction attempt on the joint account. They were trying to withdraw $5,000, probably the balance for the Ritz. I blocked it, logged in, and froze their access. Then the call started. Mom, Emily, what's going on? The account's not working. Ignored. Dad, call your mother. She's worried. Ignored. Jake, yo, Em, Mom says there's an issue with the money. Fix it? Ignored. By evening, 67 missed calls. Texts pouring in like a storm. Mom, Emily, call me right now. This isn't like you. Dad, this isn't funny. We need to talk. Jake, WTF sis, you're ruining everything. We had plans. Plans. Yeah, I knew about their plans. Then a new number.
Area code 407, Orlando. Voicemail. Miss Harper, this is David Ellison, attorney with Ellison & Associates. I represent your parents, Brenda and Howard Harper.
There seems to be a misunderstanding regarding the joint savings account. We'd like to schedule a call to discuss and avoid any unnecessary legal action. Please contact me at your earliest convenience. Legal action. With my money? I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound that echoed in my empty apartment. That's when I called Papa Tom. Thomas Harper, Dad's father actually. Mom's side was estranged, her parents passed young. Papa Tom was 82, retired Air Force colonel, living in a modest bungalow in Savannah, Georgia. He'd served in Vietnam, then the Gulf War, came home with medals and a no-nonsense attitude. Grandma Ellen died in 2015 from cancer. He'd been alone since, tending his garden, watching Braves games. We weren't super close, distance and all, but he'd always been kind. Sent $50 birthday checks, called on holidays. Papa Tom, it's Emily. Emily, good to hear from you. Everything all right? I told him everything, the voicemail, the trip, the money, the lawyer. He listened quietly, interrupting only for clarifications. Send me those files, sweetheart. All of them. Emails thomas.harper1941@gmail.com. I did. Zipped the folder, hit send. Christmas Eve came. Charlotte was decked out, lights on the skyscrapers, carolers, and Romare Bearden Park. I stayed in, ordered Chinese from Panda Express, orange chicken, fried rice, egg rolls. Ate it on the couch, watching Home Alone on Netflix. The tree lights blinked mockingly. My phone exploded around 8 p.m. More calls, more texts.
Mom, the hotel won't confirm our reservation. Something about payment. Sis, seriously, Mom's crying. Fix this. Emily, this has gone far enough. I turned it off. Christmas morning, I woke to silence. Brewed coffee, opened the one gift I'd bought myself, a cozy blanket from Target, wrapped it around me and stared out the window at the gray sky. Then I drove to Savannah, 3 hours south on I-77 and I-95, past pine forests and billboards for south of the border. Arrived by noon. Papa Tom was on the porch, rocking chair creaking, a mug of black coffee in hand. His house smelled like pipe tobacco and old books, shelves lined with military history tomes. He hugged me tight. Merry Christmas, kiddo. Inside, over turkey sandwiches, he'd made them himself, we talked. I looked at those files, he said. You've given them a fortune, more than I ever did for my own son. They say it's family. He snorted. Family doesn't bleed you dry. Your dad, my boy, he's always been weak. Let your mom run the show. And Jake, spoiled rotten. He handed me an envelope, thick legal paper. Inside, a new will, dated December 23rd, notarized. Everything. His house, valued at $350,000. His savings, $120,000 from pensions. His military benefits. Changed to me as sole beneficiary. Jake and my parents, cut out entirely. Because, he said, I steady. You're the only one who's ever taken care of anybody in this family, Emily. Not them. I called your mom last night. Told her what I did.
Told her why. Their reaction? Panic. The Ritz-Carlton reservation? Canceled that morning when the final payment, supposed to come from the retirement fund, bounced. They tried to use the joint account, but I'd already transferred the $148,000 to a new solo account at Chase with Papa Tom's help over the phone. Jake's truck? He missed the next payment. Repo men showed up January 2nd, towing it away while Sarah watched, arms crossed. The house in Orlando? Without my monthly transfers, they couldn't keep up. Property taxes due in March 2024, $6,500, they defaulted. By summer, it was on the market. Sold in August for $420,000, but after fees and the remaining mortgage, they walked away with $50,000, moved into a cramped apartment in Kissimmee. I haven't spoken to any of them since. Not Mom, who sent apology texts for weeks. We didn't mean to hurt you. Let's talk. Not Dad, whose voicemails grew sadder. Emily, I'm sorry. Your mom pushed for the trip. Not Jake, who blamed everyone but himself. You're being selfish, sis, after all we've done for you. Block the numbers, remove them from social media, Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn. Canceled the joint credit card, reported the unauthorized charges, though I let the $4,200 slide. Consider it a parting gift. Work got better. With no more drains on my finances, I saved aggressively. By 2024, I had $50,000 in my own emergency fund.
Bought a condo in Dilworth, Charlotte's trendy neighborhood, 2 bedrooms, balcony view of Freedom Park. Dated a bit, met Alex, a software engineer at a Hornets game. We're taking it slow, but he gets it. Family shouldn't be a transaction. Papa Tom visited often. We drive to the coast, eat shrimp at Tybee Island. He passed in 2025, peacefully in his sleep. The inheritance? It funded my future, a down payment on investment property, a trip to Europe I'd always dreamed of. This Christmas, 2025, 2 years later, was my first truly alone, but not lonely. I hosted Lisa and her family, cooked a full spread, ham, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, exchanged gifts under a real Fraser fir tree. Watched the ball drop in Times Square on TV with a glass of champagne, Dom Perignon, because why not? Papa Tom's words echo. Family is who shows up, Emily, not who takes. It doesn't mean setting yourself on fire to keep others warm. It doesn't mean giving until you're empty so they can feel full. And it sure as hell doesn't mean staying silent while they plan a luxury vacation with your money and tell you Christmas is canceled. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is walking away and keeping what's yours. If you've ever been the family bank account instead of the family member, if you've ever heard "we can't afford it" right before seeing them living it up, what would you have done? Because I chose myself, and it saved me.